in-home evaluations and subjective psychiatric interviews would not be welcomed by any law-abiding citizen and would add more cost, delay, and legal challenge to the
If I could just ask you to
process.
sum up, please.
Okay. I hope that my concerns will be considered along with many other rights, not only on firearms, but also on things like ammunition sales, being able to buy in bulk, and basically practicing the law-abiding use of my firearms in New Jersey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been a legal firearms owner and ID card since 1967. I've not had any incidents, any crimes, or anything that warrants any kind of more stringent investigations than what I currently undergo when I purchase a firearm, whether it's a handgun or a rifle. I'd like to put a big ditto on the last speaker because he took most of the points I was going to talk about, but I would like to emphasize on the assault weapon, which we have a definition which doesn't match the definition that you hear on TV or you see in the newspaper or you see from other states. But a definition, if we look at a dictionary, describes something that we can go and apply to something. In New Jersey, under the new proposed assembly bill, it's nothing but a list of weapons. This is assault weapon. A list is not a definition. And then it goes on to say that anything that looks like it will be part of the assault weapon. Well, an M1 is on here, which is a World War II weapon. It has a built-in magazine which only takes 8 rounds. A Winchester 308 has a detachable magazine that takes 5 rounds. That's the only difference. It chambers almost the same, fires the same, it's semi-automatic. So does that automatically now become an unnamed assault weapon? I can go into a gun store and purchase ammunition. If the gun store owner gives me hollow point bullets, he's legal. If I walk out the store with them, I'm illegal. Point is, the laws need to really be looked at so that they are effective, they do what they're said are designed to do, and not be arbitrary and put people like me in jeopardy.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, my name is Neil O'Connor, and I attend about 20 or 30 gun shows a year. I market military history books, videos, DVDs, and sound recordings. I talk to a lot of gun book dealers and gun dealers. And all of them universally are against crimes committed with firearms. And most of them have mentioned to me that the type of law they'd like to see in their state would be the 10, 20, and life rule which they have in Florida. Essentially, that is, you pull a gun, it's 10 years, no parole. You fire a gun, even if you don't hit anybody, it's 20 years with no parole. And if you actually shoot somebody, even if you just graze them or wound it, it's life without parole. That's the way to crack down on crime. We've heard a lot about the 2 million people that were denied firearm permits under the federal program. Well, it turns out that number is a little wrong. According to the Week magazine in February 8, 2013, the FBI denied 17,659 attempted gun purchases, about 1.2% of all applicants. Of those rejected, half are criminal records, most of which were things like traffic tickets and being drunk and disorderly when they were teenagers, like that gentleman mentioned that when he was 17. And they recently asked Vice President Biden how many have been prosecuted for filing and failing the background check, and he said 42. And they said, well, why aren't there any more? He said, well, we can't afford to enforce it. So what's the point of having a void in the law that you can't enforce? This is a French concept of passing more and more onerous regulations which are not enforced that just add to the problem. If we had effective criminal control, we wouldn't need gun control.
Thank you. If we could just have Maskin, Netrobov, N-E-T-R-E-B-O-V, Jerry Murphy, Slav Solovsky, Peter Suarez, Salvador Musi, Robert Wilson. If you could step forward. Sir.
Hi. Thank you for allowing us to speak today. My name is Mike Maglio, and I'd just like to voice my displeasure with some of the proposed regulations that I've read, most specifically one that would limit magazine capacity to 5 rounds, which would essentially make every revolver, pistol, and most hunting rifles illegal in the state of New Jersey. And this is a thinly disguised attempt to ban firearms in New Jersey. Also another provision of having house searches for people that want to own firearms. I think that these proposals are ridiculous. And I don't think that I think that we have some of the most restrictive gun laws in this state. And coming after the law-abiding firearms owners in this state is not going to make anything safer.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir.
I just want to read a couple of statistics and stats real fast. According to the FBI and the UCR, the Uniform Crime Report, in 1992, the violent crime rate was 757.7 per every 100,000 people in America. And there was a murder rate of 9.3 per every 100,000 in America. Now, the latest figures is 2011, because they're still working on 2012. The violent crime rate is 386.3 per 100,000, which is almost a 50% reduction. And the murder rate is 4.7 per every 100,000, which is also just under a 50% reduction. In 2011, out of the homicides that were caused by firearms across the country, 3.5 were caused by rifles. The AR-15 falls into that category. The UCR Table 20 under murder by state type of weapon, so this is just for New Jersey, from 2009 to 2011, shows that there were 643 murders with handguns, 145 murders with knives and cutting instruments, 65 murders with hands, fists and feet, and only 11 murders with rifles.
Thank you, sir. If I could just ask you to sum up.
Yep. I, as a veteran, just amused when I watch the TV and I see Mayor Cory Booker of Newark on the news. And according to Mayor Cory Booker, there have been hundreds of shootings in Newark since he was the mayor. And to his knowledge, there's only been one shooting where the person legally owned his firearm.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
Tom Pappas, I'm a lifelong resident of New Jersey. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to this panel. Many of the things I wanted to discuss were brought up, so I'll cut that out.
Thank you.
One of the things that was not brought up that, and maybe I missed it, is the high use of these mood altering medications, Prozac, Xanax, Cymbalta. I see these advertisements on TV. Maybe Cymbalta can help. If you feel suicidal, if you feel this, contact your doctor. Well, maybe it's too late to contact your doctor when a guy goes off the deep end. I think the state of New Jersey has some of the strictest laws. Matter of fact, nationally, we're kind of a laughing stock that we can't get a concealed carry permit. I have been background checked in 4 states. I have non-resident concealed carry permits, yet I have to transport my gun out of the state before I can carry it. Criminals have stated they would not have committed or attempted to commit the crimes they had if they thought there was any chance that their victim was armed. We're all sitting ducks in New Jersey. Every one of us are in a gun-free zone, not just the kids in school, because the only people that can help me if I'm in trouble are these guys in the uniforms, and they don't happen to be hanging out with me all day long. Unfortunately. So I just wanted to point out that this is where the gun laws need to be readdressed. We are all licensed. We're all background checked. We're all authorized. We're all been inspected to know what we ate for breakfast yesterday. Give us an opportunity to defend ourselves and maybe help these guys if they're in trouble one day.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Fred Reel. I won't repeat all the many points that I already agree with, but you guys are looking for initiatives to present to the governor. 2 ideas I have are judges should be accountable. You guys should have a scorecard that's publicly available to see how many people the judges release back to the streets that are repeat offenders. The second thing is, nobody here doing a private gun sale wants to sell their gun to an individual that shouldn't have it, but I'm in no way for universal background checks. But I'd be interested to see you guys come up with a free, paperless, private background check that I can perform on an individual when I'm doing a private gun sale. I don't want to be in any record, I don't want to be in any database, but I want the ability to look up the NICS check that's provided free by the FBI out of my own. Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of what I have been speaking has been said, so I'm just going to cut all of that out. But I'd like to quantify something that's been repeated over and over again. New Jersey has one of the toughest legislative regulations for firearms in the nation. Let's just figure out how tough. Radio campaign, which rates these things, gives us 72 out of 100 points in firearms regulation. That makes us number 2 in the nation. Okay, would that lead everybody here to assume that we're also number 2 in firearm homicides? I mean, or at least number 2, maybe better. We're number 33. Okay, so that's what all these laws do, what good all these laws do. Maybe we could strive to do better. Maybe we could be like California, right? California is rated as number 1 for beta campaign, 81 points out of 100. Do you know what California is on the list of fire homicides? Number 36. Okay? So if these laws don't accomplish what they're set out to accomplish, what good are they? Albert Einstein has been said, defines insanity as repeating the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result. And yet, we're in a state with the second toughest set of regulation in the nation, and we have assembly that's introduced a stack of new legislation. What does that go? I would like to reiterate the call for giving law-abiding gun owners an ability to conceal carry firearms in the state of New Jersey and to defend ourselves in our homes and outside.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, how you doing? My name is Reverend Kevin Nunn. I'm the Vice President of the Asbury Park Neptune Ministerial Alliance. I actually have a question. I'm not going to take much time. I'm not going to dispute the effort you made to hang the guns on the streets in terms of legislation. But I will tell you that as a pastor, I've buried more children over the last 2 years than I could ever think of burying. I will tell you through personal experience, there are 50 caliber handgun machines on that street. There are AKs on the street. There are people who have grenades on my street. I'm watching the shots being fired every week. For every murder that you report, there are about 50 shots being fired throughout the community that are not reported. My question is simply this. I'm there with them. I get Bloods and Crips and gang members jobs. We do everything we can. They've been shot in the back. They get the bullets out their back and go back to work. They're trying to stand up and be what they can. We have a lack of jobs. We have a lack of services in our community. I only had a question, sir. I work with Frank Pallone, who is a senator which you well know in this community. And I've done everything I can as a pastor on this street. Minister Ellison was with me back here, and this is a very serious inquiry from me, because we need help. All of you who are complaining about it, we're living with it every day. We're doing the best we can to stop it, but we need help.
Thank you, sir.
And my question is, sir, and not to be disrespectful, but is there anyone I can speak to in this room after you dismiss me from this dais who is willing to help us get these guns off the street? If there's anyone in this room who's willing to help us, because we're dealing with murdered children all year round. And that's all I have to say. Thank you, sir.
And again, you have members of the governor's staff are here as well, just so you know. Thank you, sir. We will consider it. Thank you very much. I'd like to call up, just to be ready, Mr. Mursal, Mr. Massaro, Mr. Davis, Mr. Foster, Mr. Clark. Yes, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. I just want to reiterate what most people have said here tonight and just point out again that the guns that are on the street, as the pastor said, are not legally purchased firearms. The gun control measures that are being introduced will only affect the law-abiding citizens. Criminals, by definition, don't follow the laws. If that's all it took, we wouldn't need any police. You write a law, everybody follows it. We know, I think what you need is just stronger enforcement of the laws that are already on the books, and maybe some mandatory sentencing for gun crimes, gun-related crimes, like one of the other individuals has said with the 10, 20, 50 law.
Thank you.